Hello, I'm Kerry O'Shea Gorgone with Appfire. So excited to be here with Agnes Józwiak to talk about planning poker on the best project portfolio management show.
You've got questions about PPM, but you're afraid to ask? Well, wait no longer. Appfire presents the best project portfolio management show by Appfire.
In case you're wondering, the show is from Appfire. 10 minutes of pure awesome about project management. And today we have Agnes with us. She works with me at Appfire and is product marketing manager for the Agile Apps category. Thanks for joining now,
Well,
Agnes.
thank you for having me, Kerry.
Of course, anytime. What is planning poker?
Oh, that's a straightforward question.
Yes,
Well,
I'd never heard of it.
Oh, you have. Well, it's been if you're working in Appfire, you must have heard it. Because, well, obviously one of our apps is called Planning Poker. We've got two apps for estimation, and Planning Poker is an estimation gamified estimation method. One of the most popular, I guess. And depending on the team experience, depending on how team works, you can obviously adopt Planning Poker and make it work your way.
So it's for agile teams who have like a pretty good level of experience.
I would say so, because story point estimation require that sort of expertise. It's still like estimating a story point in Planning Poker. It's a sort of relative values, right? So you're estimating the effort on different stories rather than how many days it will take. So in estimating in relative values, like in story points, be it like the Fibonacci sort of sequence, because you can
Now you're explaining all right,
yeah.
so you're getting right into this question. I looked at a planning poker deck before we talked, and the cards in it, because I was like, oh, poker is super fun. The cards in it are different than in a regular deck. And so it's because agile teams use story points methodology and stuff. Okay.
Well,
that makes sense.
That's the deal. When you play poker in estimating, you use story points, and that's in Planning Poker, when it was established in 2002, I believe. The idea was that each team member gets a deck of cards that has a sequence of numbers ranging from 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 20, 40, and 100.
So to help you estimate the effort that would be
yes.
required to complete a project or add a new feature or do your backlog or that kind of stuff.
Yes. So the team got together to estimate issue by issue, story by story. So we, like Scrum Master or Agile Coach or whoever was moderating the session, was reading the story description out loud, and then each team member.
So story is like the project description, kind of like for the unindoctrinated.
It's a task. It's a feature description. It's
it's what you're going to have to do, basically.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's a task, pretty much.
Okay. So they read it to everybody.
They read it to everybody, and then each of the team members present at the estimation session should they vote. So they know the story. They might have done similar story in the past, so they estimate to their best knowledge, pretty much.
Okay.
And then,
so this is how you play. Like somebody describes what the task is going to be, the project manager, or the Scrum Master, and everybody takes the cards and then basically throws down, like, right?
Absolutely. But the goal is to reach consensus, right? So because if we've got like 10 team members on a session trying to estimate one task or issue or story, then let's call it backlog item, because you estimate backlog item.
So backlog is like all the things that you've got waiting to be done.
Yes. Yeah. And then if you shoot 3 story points and I estimate 8 story points, well, there's no consensus because we sort of have different views on the story. So we need
one of us has probably done it before. It's like, I know it's going to take longer.
So that's why we carry on with the discussion. Sort of we leave that on the side and we go through story by story until we reach the end, and then we come back to the stories that we're not agreeing on, and until sort of pretty much the list is estimated and we reach consensus. Because
so this is how you play. So unlike regular poker where you're trying to like hide your cards, you actually show your cards so that everybody and have conversation.
Because it's unbiased, because everybody can vote, they cast their own vote without seeing, and there are plenty apps out there, ranging from free apps for remote, collocated, distributed teams, so every team can find something for themselves to cover their needs pretty much.
I'm glad you brought that up. So, like, how does this work for distributed teams? Because obviously there's like online poker for regular poker and stuff. How does it work for planning poker for agile estimation? How do you do it with a remote team?
Well, like I said, there are plenty of tools out there where everybody sort of, a Scrum Master or a person who runs the session, invites the team members, has the backlog ready and all the items, and then sort of we've got items selected for estimation, and item by item, we cast our votes until we reach consensus on each of the issue. One other approach to do it is to run a synchronous session. So using a little bit different method for estimating. So for example, before a meeting on the actual, because planning poker is very interactive.
Right.
You do it here and then. But many teams, as we saw, developing agile poker or planning poker apps, both for Jira, is what we see is teams get on asynchronous session.
Oh, like they're in different time zones or something.
They're in different time zones, for example, to actually get to know the issues they will be estimating during the interactive planning poker. So asynchronous session can be one and only, and then estimation will be done. Or we can take it to the next step and do the planning poker fully interactive if we're in the same time zone. The best part with planning poker or agile poker, both apps, is you can feed the results of your estimation sessions right into your Jira project.
Oh, okay. So like Jira is one of the tools that people use to manage software development projects and
Yes.
other large projects. So if you get together and do this using Agile Poker for Jira or Planning Poker, then when you have your estimates and you've reached consensus and you agree, you can just like feed it right into Jira from there. You don't have to manually do stuff.
It's actually done on the spot as you estimated. If the Scrum,
like real
session,
time.
yeah, real time. So
Okay.
session moderator accept the final vote, and here they are in Jira.
Cool. So, because I was just thinking, like, planning poker sounds really fun. It's probably less fun to like enter the stuff after
It is
it's
fun.
over.
It is fun, but
It does sound fun.
Well, it's a game, right?
Mhm.
Who doesn't like games? But it also takes a lot of experience, I suppose, to be good at planning poker. To be able, because it's supposed to be fast.
Mhm.
If you know how to estimate in story points.
Okay. So if you have a newer team, then you're gonna have to do a little work, like explaining story points and explaining
Exactly.
planning poker and like, so there's a little like prep time.
Prep time, or you can start estimating, for example, in t-shirt sizes or ideal days. So it really depends, like, on your team experience, because obviously the team can consist of very experienced team members, but as well as juniors, right? And we all have to estimate.
Well, you could
So
just
to
start
our best
playing
knowledge.
and then kind of watch what the more experienced people throw down, and then the newer people would probably be like, "Can I take mine back?" Like,
Sorry.
yeah, right. Never mind. I thought it would be quick. I guess there's more to it than I thought. So like you could just jump in like that and
Yeah,
see what happens, you know? But
absolutely.
one of the things you're talking about is relative versus just time-wise, because I think a lot of people are used to saying, well, that's going to take a week. And they might very well be wrong, right? Like we all have a little give and take in those things. But when you're looking at agile estimation, it's like, is this going to take as long or more time or less time than this other thing we've already done?
I think it's not about time. It's about those
Effort,
relative values. It's about effort.
effort.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, those are estimations. Like, obviously, the estimations have to be as accurate as possible. So the team commits to those estimates and to the project to actually sort of reach those estimates to be as accurate as possible. But they're
Okay.
still estimates, and those are relative values, and that's how they should be treated.
You can get a deck of planning poker cards for like a couple bucks and check it out if you
Yeah.
want to check it out. Or you can come to appfire.com and check out our planning poker and agile poker for Jira apps. Agnes, thanks so much for being here. This was so much fun. I
Thank you,
learned so much.
Kerry. Thank you so much.
I love this. I want to go play planning poker.